All right, MPC 4000, Roland SH-201. This is a great combination. At the moment, you're going to hear my sample in here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it really quickly. Okay, we're going to play it back. Just so it keeps looping for you. Turn it down just a little bit so you can hear my voice. All right. So we go into the program screen and edit one. Now, this is what I want to show you really quickly. You see you have pitch, filter, amp, right? Now, on this SH-201, you have pretty much, it's laid out really simply for synthesis and to explain how synthesizers work. You have oscillator 1, 2, pitch, detune, feedback, pulse width feedback, mix mod. This mixes between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. In fact, I'm going to put everything at like the 50% or 0 mark just to start with. The rate, the depth, cutoff, resonance, key follow, amp level, and these are the amp envelopes, right? I mean, this is great. You're going to love this. Okay, so now, pitch envelope. Every single knob on here has a CC number. That's a continuous controller number. That's why this is a phenomenal machine. And the SH-201 has, it's laid out just like the MPC. It's got 2 oscillators, 2 LFOs, and the filters and all that, just like the MPC. So what we can do now is we go into Window, and the thing you have to remember is these first 7 sources going to those destinations, they're default like that, and that's the way they should be, which we realized in video 1 and 2. But the thing is, you also have, I think it goes down to like 64 sources that you can, yeah, so there's 64 sources that you can set to a destination. So what does that mean exactly? I will show you right now. What you want to do is you'd want to find a really good controller like this, or like a BCR, the Behringer BCR2000. You go to control. See, it's starting to mess with it. That's because this is up to 100. Hold up, let me just get rid of this. Put this down to 0. So we want to find controller. Controller. So you put a number, so it starts out at 0, and what you do is you have to find your CC number, like I said in here. Pitch is number 20. So if I turn this to 20, and then I turn this up, well, let's go in low, going in negative, you can go in the positive, right? Okay, cool. So what that means right now is I can turn this pitch knob, turn it down to 0. So you're hearing her voice again. Go all the way back up. All right, so what else we want to try? 21. Now 21 is oscillator 2's pitch. So I would have to press this button and then it would work oscillator 2. All right, but we're not going to mess with that right now. We're just going to stick with oscillator 1. And instead of messing with the pitch on this one, why don't we mess with the cutoff? Now cutoff is 74, I think. cutoff. So now when I mess with the cutoff switch, you know why it's not going to do anything yet? Because I have to, on here, I have to turn on the cutoff. So if we go to 4-pole, and I think, well, if we leave it at 0, let's see what happens. Okay, so it comes up from 0, right? But what we want to do is maybe, let me see what happens if we go all the way up to 100 and then mess with it. It's interesting. So what you have to do is you have to leave it at 0, and then now you can mess with it. Okay, so you put this at 0, and then it comes up from there. So if you're at 100 and you go down, it doesn't work. So you put it at 0, then you come up. Let's just make sure that that's actually the case. How about we go back into a window? Yeah. What happens if we put this a little lower? Right, so then it just works in the reverse. But the thing is, it can't be at 0, because if it's at 0, then you won't get anything. All right, so you have to choose. All right, so let's try another controller. Yes, the LFO rate. 16. So if we go back to here, turn up the depth of the triangle. And there's one for depth too. But what we want to do is we're going to be messing with the rate, which is this knob right here, LFO1 rate. So I guess if I put this up to 100 also, yeah, it's the same thing. So you gotta put it, for it to counteract, you have to put it at 0. It's all a bit slow. It's at 0 or slow as we get faster. All right, so now the depth is this one. So we go into window, controller, LFO1's depth is 18. Okay, so now it should counteract with it. Yeah. Now this has 2 depths in it. You have 2 ways of managing the depth, or because this is the modulation matrix in the SH-201. So you would just have to assign this to something else, which would be similar to that. Now, we could, in essence, do like delay, and because this one has a delay in it, hold on, let's see. So we'd want controller, and to keep yourself sane, what you want to do is you kind of want to keep things, like you'd want to cut off in the SH-201 to, you know, the cutoff in the MPC 4000. You'd want to kind of keep things the same. So let's see, controller for depth 2 is 19. So in here we could, LFO1 delay, all right? Yeah. So now when I turn this one, it should mess with the delay. Remember, this is depth now, but this is on the MPC's delay. Rate depth delay. You'd want to, in essence, set a controller to every single thing that you have here. And you can get really deep when you get into the zones, because then you're messing with each zone's, I mean, at this point, it's just phenomenal. That's why the MPC is more powerful than a lot of synthesizers, actually, depending on what you put in there and how you get down with it. So I just want to show you really quickly. In fact, let's turn this off. Just want to show you the SH-201 layout. So it works from left to right, right? So you have your oscillator 1, and you can press the button to go to oscillator 2, pitch detune, pulse width feedback, mix mod, that mixes between oscillators 1 and 2. So right then I had it halfway through each one. And then you can toggle between this, and you have like octave, you can change the octaves. You have the filter, low pass, high pass, band pass. And you can change the slope, minus 12 dB, 24 dB, cutoff, resonance, key follow. And all these go, as you can see the arrows, then they go to the amp, right? So you're going oscillator, they're mixing, they get filtered, then it goes to the amp. And with the oscillator, you have the pitch knobs, then you have your LFO 1 and 2, the rate, destination, this being the mod matrix between the two, your pitch, pulse width, filter. So in other words, your LFO going to the pitch or the filter, and then the same thing here, pitch, pulse width, or amp. So you can have them go separately to different parts. And then this would be the filter envelope. And here's the depth knob. And then here's your amp envelope piece.